in that level where, then you had to question myself, did I actually become so assimilated to this white world that I actually now have to live with a white person? And what does it mean for me? And what does it mean in terms of the domination that I was taught and the relations? Am I complicit in this project of emboldening whiteness or emboldening the structures that my family has grown into? So the anxiety was that. And anxiety at the same time, because I was so rooted in the township, that I don't want to, and it's a battle that I have with myself every day, where you don't want to, your roots are so important to me. You know, I can still go to the funerals and other things. And now for the first time, people will look at you differently, like, hey, like now she's hanging out namagamla, so there's a problem there, you know. And what does it mean? And I don't want to feel like I'm distancing myself from my community that is so rooted in me at the same time. So the anxieties as well, and how do you find balance? And I think also I was trying, you know, at that age, I was young, finding balance of the two worlds for the first time and what it meant. And the anxiety was that, and how to tell her. I didn't have words yet for her at that point. But what I did tell her is like, oh, okay, hey, the whole amount, you know, and yeah, and she left it. It's like, okay, but if it's closer to work, it's fine, you know.
But lihua.
Yeah, that's,
like
there was a white person, you know, and it was like, there was a moment of, okay, and then later on she asked, okay, how are you settling? You know, is she okay? Is she treating you okay? Are you okay? Are you getting along? And I was like, yes, you know. And yeah, and I never introduced Kim to my mother because I was always scared of that. Never. In the 2 years we stayed together, never.
And thank you. And Kim, tell us more about the tears, what they are about. You said something that I thought was quite profound. Can you say more about what are the tears about just now?
And I hope they don't come up again. I think with the nerves, like it's harder to regulate the emotion. But I think what's very moving for me is that just knowing how hard it was for Musa, because it wasn't as hard for me, knowing how hard it was for her, that she still chose to live with me. That's what's touching, because that's like, I think that's that connection and that love. And even now, like last night, Musa pushes me quite a lot. And when I was living with her, I had good practice, you know. But just having that intimacy again last night, talking over wine, and feeling pushed again, you know, feeling that pushed again. And knowing that it's okay, like there's something deeper, there's that connection, and that it's okay that it's sometimes not okay, that I need to be pushed, or that I'm going to feel uncomfortable and say something offensive, or Musa might say something offensive, or there might be that tension, for that to be okay. And I think just hearing right in the beginning that Musa was having that tension and still said, I'm going to do it, you know, I'm going to jump, like that's a lot of trust, and so I think that's what really, really touched me.
Share with us these pushing moments, because I think that's what for us will bring out some of these issues that we want to really grapple with. What are the moments of pushing? Share a little bit more.
Well, I mean, so last night, for instance, Musa's also a strong activist, so very committed to change, like real change, like socioeconomic change. And when I moved to Joburg, Musa also introduced me to my husband, now ex-husband, they were all very, very strong in activist traditions. So I was being pushed beyond just having to delve into the kind of what does it mean to be white, and you know, how do I acknowledge my privilege, but what does it mean to actually have change in the world? And what really am I willing to give up? Because it's all very well saying, you know, I see this, but like, and then what? You know? And so that was very challenging for me, the kind of socioeconomic side, and the side of like, it's not just about, you know, the kind of the psychological difficulty of acknowledging that stuff, but the actual, the very real need for structural and socioeconomic change, and whether you actually are willing to give up and take that step. And she reminded me again of that last night, you know, and saying like, you know, it's obviously it's useful for white people to become conscious and to become aware of their privilege, but there's something suspect in the conscious white, because you're not sure how much they are presenting themselves in a, you know, in a I'm not like that kind of white way, and how sincere they really are. And she was saying like, for her, if white people are serious, that would mean getting together and having a real conversation about what they're going to do in a material way. And yeah, so I was a bit pushed by that, because I like to think like, you know, my work and what I write about, it's like I'm useful and I'm hearing the stories and I'm understanding and I'm developing empathy. But that can allow me to sometimes feel good about myself and like I'm doing enough, but really I'm not. And I think the question that she really like posed for me again was how can you live here in Cape Town, because Cape Town and Joburg are very different, without feeling that inequality every day, and without holding that kind of in your heart. And when I did my PhD research, because my PhD research was on memories of violence, and Pamela also knows like that it was very hard for me to move between Muizenberg and Caliche every day and listen to stories where people are still really struggling, really poor, went through terrible violence, terrible oppression, and there's a lot of pain and there's a lot of anger, and then I come home and deal with white problems and everything that we fuss about that just is incomparable. And I think there's a part of me that after that struggled so much that I withdrew a little bit and thought I can't face it every day, I can't hold it in my consciousness, and that is a privilege, because I kind of, as a white person, you do have the option to do that. You do have the option to turn away and say, I'm going to focus on my life, and I'm not going to think every day about how much other people are struggling, and it's too much, it's making me feel depressed. So it was just a reminder again that that's not okay. I can't live here and not feel that. Yeah.
And Musa, would you like to respond to that? Because again, you bring this issue up to her. So, and I think it's very important to do that. And in fact, that's where usually relationships break, because of the unsaid, yet the obviously felt. And you boldly go there and both of you engage. What is, can you just share with us your own perspective of that?
I've known Kim for a while, so like one of the things that makes me have this conversation with her or other people is primarily because I can be myself. So I've seen her in all levels, happy, sad, miserable. She's seen me happy, sad, miserable, in pain, and so on. Where if we're gonna have a radical change about the world and also about South Africa, it is also